We'll have a quick look at some of the other questions. We got one from Carney17. I know he used to race with us, I think, on the F1 League. If you could implement one thing into the next F1 game, so I presume that will be 2014 there, what would it be?
Yeah, I mean, he would have asked it when 2013 wasn't out, so I assume he means this. But I mean, well, it doesn't matter anyway. I think, and this can lead on to the next question as well, actually. But for me, the boring answer would be a thing that works properly. I don't really care what it is, as long as there's no bugs in it, and as long as it works the way it is intended to. Like the safety car, for example, then that would probably be my answer. If I could give you a proper answer, I'm not one of those guys that particularly wants a parade lap. I know that's part of the simulation, which is what F1's meant to be. I don't think it is, but I'm not particularly a big fan of parade lap. I don't know, really. I don't know. What about you, Carrie? Give me some inspiration.
I think I know the focus on tyres is quite big from Codemasters.
But I mean, I think that is driven out of the focus that tyres have in the sport in real life. I mean, if that wasn't a case, if that wasn't a factor in the real life equivalent, then I'm sure Codemasters wouldn't have modelled the game on that.
Yeah, but what I mean is, you see the thermal cameras that have been on the F1 cars recently and in the real races, where you see the tyres and you can see the work, the load that gets put into, into into all the tyres, no matter what corner it is. If they go into a left-hander, the front right's always getting, load on it, and you can see that on the thermal camera. So I would hope that they've kind of enhanced the tyre system a bit more. I'm not sure. It's been quite scripted in recent years, and it's kind of too early in the year to kind of decide or kind of make a judgment on 2013. But I think if the tyres were kind of, you had like a live picture of, like they've already got of the OSD of the actual car indicator. Yeah. But on the heat cycle, the tyre actually kind of, you can actually see it, what load is going onto the tyre at each corner. I know it kind of does it to an extent already, but not like as aggressive as it is in real life,
It's quite minimal, isn't it? Is what I'm trying to make it, I guess.
Yeah, I think if they kind of made you kind of see what kind of load is going on in each corner, you'd have a rough idea, of what tyres are going under the most stress. I would like the tyres to kind of be based on driving style a little bit as well. I think it's kind of based on how often you turn the steering wheel, and that's kind of not not particularly fair on pad users because I've seen pad gameplay and it's kind of a bit stiff, and keyboards as well. And I saw a thread on CM forum, someone using a keyboard, so they're still out there.
I remember playing Grand Prix 4 on a keyboard. That was good fun. I remember that. So I did actually have one. I did just think of one while you were saying that, but it's in typical Neil fashion. I've now bottled it and forgotten what it was. So I'm going to tie this in together with another question from Adam Clark. This one he sent us over Twitter, I believe. In Brazil, I think we mentioned that we have a bit of a love-hate relationship with F1 2012. I think we can probably extend that to the F1 by Codemasters series rather than just F1 2012. And Adam Clark asked us to elaborate on the hate part of the love-hate relationship that we have with the game. Or the games, I should say. And, well, where shall I begin? Okay, so they got a crap penalty system. They don't punish corner cutting. Their damage system is just completely wrong. The insta-spin curbs and the general... The way that the game handles collisions as well is just absolutely backwards. and then the ridiculous number of bugs that are in the game bugs me. Whee! It's just a big thing because we do online leagues. I mean, we're not doing an online league, I don't think, for F1 2013 on Legends Racing League anyway. But for us, because obviously we run with equal cars, the fact that they've had 4 iterations of the game now, and they still can't get online equal cars that actually be equal. I can't defend that anymore. After the first couple of seasons, fair enough, but by now you should have got it sorted out. They just haven't, and it's just things like that. I mean, the thing is, we love the sport, so we continue being. I mean, we're the idiots really, because we still buy the games and give Codemasters money.
Suckers with money.
Yeah, so I mean, we're the idiots really. Rather than them,
but Neil, at least it's got a co-op mode. You know what I mean? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. We can embrace and we can still enjoy that. And I think we both did thoroughly enjoy making this series for you, this co-op series. And we do enjoy still playing the game because it's based very fundamentally on a sport that we both love and that we're both very passionate about. So we do still enjoy playing it because it does represent our sport, but there are just so many aspects of the game that are wrong, and they probably had long enough to fix them and still haven't. So I think that kind of explains our hate relationship with the game, and so yeah, to go back to Caney 17's question, if I could implement one thing into the next F1 game, whatever it would be, it would work. That's the key thing for me, really. If they added no more parts to the game, then for next season, but made everything that was already in the game that didn't work now work, then that would be worth the money, in my opinion. It has now come back to me, the one thing that I did think of to implement, and it kind of has been implemented already in the scenario mode. But I remember back to the F1 World Grand Prix game on N64, where they had a proper scenario mode where it was based on actual real life races and real life scenarios. The one I remember most is Damon Hill's gearbox failing on him in Hungary in the Arrows in 1997. And you having to try and get to the finish and beat Jack Villeneuve rather than end up finishing second. Now, I nearly got a scenario mode in the in F1 2012, which was 2013, sorry, which is an extension of the Champions mode they had in 2012. And they do have some of the scenarios are very loosely based on real life events, like for example. You're in a McLaren and you've got to win the World Championship. You've got to finish 5th or something to win the World Championship. They blatantly got that from Lewis Hamilton's 2008 season. And also there's one in Canada where it's heavy rain and you're Jenson Button and you've got to hunt down and pass Sebastian Vettel. So that's obviously loosely based on real life. But I mean a proper recreation of real life events. If they were able to do that, I mean, I'm not sure if they're bound by the license for that. But if they were, then that's one thing I'd love to
they'll probably use that as an excuse.
I'm sure they already have, to be fair. But yeah, that would be the one thing I'd implement into the next game, definitely. One, there's a scenario mode that's based on the recreation of real life Formula 1 scenarios and events.
Good stuff. One key question, or one key topic that kind of popped up in quite a few questions actually was in relation to what was actually going on in the real Formula 1 world. So they kind of wanted some answers from us as fans. We've got a couple of questions all kind of asking a similar thing really. So this one's from Argentinian Gamer. What do you think about Raikkonen moving to Ferrari? Grandi Cola also repeating that question in a way. Your thoughts on Kimi moving back to Ferrari? And the Undisputed also asks, who do you think will win the Ferrari Inter-Team battle next year as a result of Raikkonen moving? So, Kimi's back at Ferrari. He's going to get done. Simple as that. I don't care what anyone says. From this moment in time, I firmly believe that Alonso will comfortably get the better of him. I mean, Grosjean's even doing Kimi at the moment. It's just I don't understand Kimi sometimes. He kind of turns up when he wants to, and then when he does turn up, people brand him one of the best in the world. And he's, this year he's in a car which can kind of qualify, as Grosjean's kind of proven it. And in the race, they should have won way more than the one that they've done this season, simply because the tyres are very they're so good at saving the tyres, while being quick as well. So I think Kimi should have won more, definitely. If he actually qualified a bit better, I still don't think he's got the heart to kind of want to self-improve either. I don't know why Ferrari have gone for him rather than someone who's kind of proven his worth, especially in the past few races like Hulkenberg. I think Hulkenberg would probably give Alonso a bit more food for thought, especially as he's a relatively unknown candidate. But Kimi, he in his first period just scraped it in 2007, if I do say so myself. 2008 he got beat by Massa. 2009 he was getting beaten by Massa until Massa's accident, and his race victory came as a result of him extending turn 1 at Spa, gaining numerous places as a result, and using Kers to overtake and defend Pissy, which is I'm not criticising that bit, but just the way he got up into that position in the first place. I don't know if you figured out already. I'm not a major Kimi advocate, but
I mean, I'm a fan of Kimi. I enjoy him. I think he's brilliant in his interviews. The way he's so deadpan and his attitude to the media in general, I think is brilliant. So I do quite like Kimi. But yeah, I agree with Kerry. I don't think Alonso will walk all over Raikkonen, but I think Alonso should win that duel relatively easily. I think. Raikkonen is he was in the mid 2000s. If that Raikkonen was still around, I think he'd probably give Alonso a bit more of a challenge. But we both agreed earlier on in the day that Alonso is probably the best driver on the grid at the moment, and we didn't consider Raikkonen as being within the top 3. So yeah, I think Alonso should win that battle quite comfortably, I should imagine.
Just to add as well, you just mentioned about he's kind of deadpan approach in interviews. If that was any other driver, they'd be getting criticised. Simple as that. If that was Hamilton, everyone would just be jumping on his back for just talking like that, But I don't understand why Kimi gets that response. Harry gets away with it, but
well, I mean, I'm not sure I agree with that necessarily. I think if Hamilton was, or if anyone else was like Raikkonen from the very start, which I believe Raikkonen was, then I don't think that's true. I think everyone would have the same attitude towards him. But maybe only if it was just that one person. I mean, if you've got another Raikkonen who doesn't like the media, I think it would get a bit serious. But I just always think back to Michael Schumacher's last race, and Martin Brundle was doing his patented grid walk, and Schumacher just had a presentation at the front of the grid with Pele, and Martin Brundle goes up to Kimi Raikkonen, who's just chilling out under an umbrella. I think he's P1 as well, and he's just chilling out under an umbrella, and Martin Brundle says, "You missed the presentation, Kimi." And he just said, "Yeah, I was having a shit." I think that attitude, I enjoy it. I think it's good fun. But anyway, I want to bring it to a slightly less serious topic. We got a couple of very, very imaginative and funny questions. So thank you for some of these guys. The first one comes from my man Mark Neville, who sponsored the teammate challenge. For one last time, I was well and truly murdered in the teammate challenge, and that is brought to you by Mark Neville. But his question: Can Kerry recommend the best place to get a vajazzle in Essex?
I don't know what he's implying there. Firstly,
That's brilliant.
Um,
Fantastic question.
Yeah. Look, this is Essex. You can probably go down to Tesco and probably you can probably get one. But thanks for that question. That's one that definitely caught me out for sure. Equally, I've got one here from TV Tom. I think you know what I'm going to ask now, but this is, I'm sure, some kind of in-joke, which I don't understand, but can Neil describe how Plymouth Argyle are by far the best football club in Devon, and they always will be? So, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that a little bit there.
Yeah,
TV Tom.
so that is a massive in-joke. I'm a bit confused by it. I'm not sure if he knows his counties and his geography very well. But basically, it's a bit of an in-joke from the Apex Racing League forums, where because I'm Bristolian, I support Bristol City, and we got into a bit of a laugh and a debate on the ARL forums about basically because Bristol Rovers are obviously the rival club, and by the way, the worst club out of the two. And so I was saying anyone who says Bristol Rovers are better, I'm going to ban, because I was a moderator on the forum, so I was just having a bit of a joke. And then TV Tom and a couple of other guys came in and said, up the gas, Bristol Rovers are amazing, yeah, and all that sort of stuff. And so basically from every conversation that I had with those guys afterwards, it always ended in some sort of one-liner about how Bristol Rovers was better than Bristol City. But TV Tom is a Plymouth fan. I think he comes from Plymouth, and so he turned it into Plymouth is better than both Bristol clubs.
Green Army.
So yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's the in joke. But the reason why he's saying I don't know if he's up with his geography or his counties at all, because I think what he's trying to say is, can Neil describe that, just confirm that Plymouth is better than Bristol City? But he said that Plymouth Argyle are by far the best football club in Devon. The only professional football clubs in Devon, to my knowledge, are Plymouth Argyle, Torquay United, and I think Exeter City as well. I think they're in the non-league now. I don't think they're in the Football League anymore. But Bristol wasn't in Devon. Bristol was in Avon and Somerset. So I don't know if he's just got himself mixed up there or not. But anyway, yeah, I will quite happily describe how Plymouth Argyle are the best football club in Devon, because against Torquay United and Exeter City, they probably are the better team. So yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, and also my mum comes from Plymouth as well, so I do have a bit of an affinity with Plymouth. So I always like to see them do well. I mean, they're not doing very well at the moment, quite frankly. But yeah, so yeah, there we go. That's that.
Did you do good at geography at school?
Well, I mean, I did better than TV Tom apparently. Anyway, right, and another one of the funny questions is to myself, but I'll ask it to myself. It's another one from Disco Jesus 100, and it's what do you enjoy most, playing F1 2012 or growing and harvesting your crops?
Pretty sure that's a reference there to your accent there, I think.
Yes, it absolutely is. Because yeah, as I am Bristolian, I am from the West Country, and they are obviously synonymous, if that's the word, with farming. So I mean, to answer the question, I mean, it most definitely is growing and harvesting my crops that I enjoy the most, because I don't enjoy playing F1 2012. And that's nothing to do with the fact that because I don't grow and harvest crops, but it's just, so by default I enjoy that more because I don't enjoy playing F1 2012. Although, all jokes aside, I was watching Mock the Week a few weeks ago, which, if you're not from England, is a stand-up quiz show, basically, where comedians come on and talk about a topical things that are happening in the news, and they put a comedic spin around it and just make jokes about it. And one of them, Ed Byrne, I'm not sure if you guys would know about this, but he was talking about a game which I haven't checked. I don't know if it actually exists or not, but he was talking about he spent had about a 5-minute bit about Farm Simulator 2013. And,
Good game.
and saying it was a genuine game. I don't know if he was completing absolute nonsense, talking absolute nonsense, or if it was legit. I should research it because it sounds like a belter.
I'm pretty sure it's a real game.
Yeah. So Farm Simulator 2013, guys, you have a look and see how we boys do it in the West Country.
Farming Simulator co-op series.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get the best farm in the West. Why not?
Okay, we're getting nearly towards the end.
Which is a very good thing because we've been chatting for the best part of 90 minutes now. If anyone's still with us, unbelievable. I'd never know we'd be that interesting that you'd stick around with us for 90 minutes.
Right, let's fly through just some of the quick questions that are thrown my way. Who's faster, you or Noble2909? The answer is Noble. Job done. Next question. Have you figured out why your Lotus often refused to switch to Rich Mix? Did you do any forum research to see if anyone else had the same problem? I didn't check the forum, but I know that Neil has the same problem as me, so it wasn't.
Yeah, I had that at some point during the season as well. But I don't think it's restricted to Lotus. I'm pretty sure I've had it before in other game modes as well, not even online but offline. I think I've had it, and in some different cars. I don't think it's isolated to just Lotus Online. But yeah, I'm sure other people have had that same problem in 2012. Hopefully it doesn't exist in 2013, but that remains to be seen.
Took the words right out of my mouth there. And yeah, and those are the questions aimed at me. Just one more I think that was aimed at both of us. Actually, I think there was two, but we'll get to the end of that one. Who is the best driver in Legends Racing? So it's all well and good knowing who's the fastest in other leagues that you race in, Neil, because we already know who the fastest people are in the other ones, but Legends Racing, that's the main question.
Actually, yeah, can I just very quickly, just for people that don't know, Noble2909, he races on the Apex Racing League. He has his own channel. I'm sure you probably know of it and can find it. But he's won the main championship on ARL for the last 3 or 4 seasons running. But unfortunately, though Carrie was a member of ARL, he never raced on the same track as Noble2909. So that will remain an unknown quantity. But I happen to agree with Carrie. I think Noble will probably beat him, unfortunately. But sorry, yeah, carry on. As we were, the best driver in Legends Racing. That's the best. That is the most important question, much more than who's faster than between Carrie or Noble. Well, go on, Kerry. You'll go first. You can't include yourself, according to Ashley Field. We should say that the question is from. Thank you very much, Ashley. So Ashley wants to know, apart from yourself, Kerry, who's the best driver in LRL?
Well, it's already quite difficult because we're already taking out the best one already. So. Oh, well, it's easy, isn't it? Really, it's got to be Jordan. Simple as that. X Shuffle.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jordan Gamertag is X Shuffle for those who don't know.
For those who don't know, whatever game you're on, he will be up there. You know, the F1 series he didn't even like. He stuck to the end of season 4, which I wasn't expecting him to do, by the way. Just mention it, but you know, he was there. He's always up there, no matter what game you do. You think you're having a good race, you think you're having a good event, and he still finds a way to kind of just be there or be ahead of you still. Touring cars, I've kind of discovered that definitely in recent seasons. The current one as well. I'm kind of chasing a lead that he's got again, thinking that I can get good race nights under my belt, but still just can't get enough of a lead because he still manages to just hold it all together and still get a good night still. So he's definitely the best. Fastest over 1 lap, definitely. One of the hardest and fairest racers as well that I've raced against, definitely. And also the other administrator along with me on the forum, so we get on quite well. We're not friends, but yeah.
I think the best driver on Legends Racing League is Rin Hato. Her record is unparalleled.
Set a new record
can't be
back,
matched.
didn't she? At the weekend.
Yeah, she set a record for going through an entire for competing in every BTCC. For every race in a BTCC event, if you like. Obviously, we do multiple races per track. She took to the track and finished, I believe, in each and every race this weekend, but failed to score a point in any of them, which we think is a record. To be serious, I thought I'd give her a name check, because I'm sure she's not listening. To answer the question seriously, yeah, I agree. X Shuffle, Jordan. The fact that of the 7 seasons in BTCC, I know we've done other race series, but in BTCC, the 7 seasons we've had so far, he's won 5. I think that just says it all, really. But like Kerry says, he did win the first F1 season that we ran.
Oh, that don't count.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't.
It does, and it absolutely counts. So yeah, he's always been in quick on every racing game that we play and every kind of racing mode that we do. He's very, very good. So I would agree.
Not even a name check for your old co-op buddy there.
Well, the question is, who's the best driver in Legends Racing, and I'm afraid to say you are not. So
well,
that's it.
I know to ban then. I know. Well, 2 people to ban. So.
Oh, that's it. You see, so he can't get to the top, through merit. He has to eliminate the competition unfairly. That's the way he goes. And actually, that leads me to what I think should be the final question, because it's quite a good question to end on. What do we think of each other as teammates? And that comes from Lord Mage 345. So thanks for that, or maybe Lord Mag E. I don't really know how you pronounce that. What do you think of each other as teammates?
Well, I'll let you start, because this ain't going to be pretty. I'll tell you.
Well, I mean, as teammates, because I mean, I'm sure the question is as teammates as opposed to as a racing driver. So I mean, as a teammate, certainly in that last season that we just completed, Kerry was the undisputed number 1. Clearly very quick, and he did well in terms of his own points haul for the team. I do think that he never asked for any team orders. He wasn't like Fernando Alonso or anyone else getting on the team radio to Eric Boudier and saying, "Get this guy out of my way." But I did on my own, off my own back, do a bit of a Felipe, well, not a Felipe Massa, because he was ordered to let him through. But I did let Kerry through a couple of times where I thought he needed to get on with it to try and score some more points for the championship. And in Brazil, knowing that he couldn't win a championship because Hamilton was winning the race, he would not reverse our positions so that I could beat, I think it was Perez in the championship. So for that, I think he is terribly selfish and single-minded. But at the end of the day, you have to have an aspect of that to be a top-class racing driver, and the fact that I don't have that clearly demonstrates that I'm not a top racing driver, which will lead me quite nicely, I imagine, onto Kerry's answer. So off you go, Kerry.
Hopeless, slow, a letdown, cost loads of points. But
I mean, there is one adjective that you've left out, which I'm not sure. I mean, there
everything.
We go. But bottler.
Oh man.
Habitual bottler is probably how you'd describe
I will admit there were times where through the season where I had to sweat a little because my perfect record against you was under threat. But I know as well as you do that wasn't your perfect season. Nowhere near. I know I've raced you in better situations than what we've had this season, and that's on online races. I know we had a few fights on 2011.
Yeah. Which I came out on top of, I should say.
That don't count.
No, it does.
It doesn't
absolutely
count.
Does.
It doesn't count.
Does. Absolutely does.
Are we turning this into a fight about these championships that should not be counted?
That you didn't win.
I deserve
And isn't that convenient, viewers? The ones he didn't win don't count. Isn't that convenient? What do you think? Anyway, listen, it has been great fun, but it's gone on for well over an hour and a half now. So I think it's about time we wrapped it up. Thank you very much, not only for your questions for this little Q&A session, but for supporting us through the season and commenting on the videos and liking on the videos. Yeah, we can't thank you enough. We really do appreciate it, and we, like we've said a few times tonight, we thoroughly enjoyed making that series for you.
Yep.
And we look forward to doing the next one.
Yep. I've had the blast. This hour and a half. I know Neil has done a lot of talking. Well done on that, Neil. By the way.
He's trying to get me to introduce a race next season, because as evidenced by this video, you know, I do often lead the conversation and that sort of thing. But no, it's Kerry's channel. It's Kerry's videos. I don't think I should be introducing it. I think it should be him. But anyway, there we go. Well, time will soon tell as to whether Nillis Lukens introduces a co-op video for season 2. But anyway, let's wrap up this bad boy. I've been Nillis Lukens. Thank you very much, guys.
And I've been KPTK92. If you've got to the end of this, thank you so much for just listening. Thank you for the questions. You know, we've had great fun recording this. And kind of going through our season a little bit as well. We'll be back for F1 2013 at some stage. So yeah, we'll see you in Australia for round 1 in whatever team. We haven't decided yet. So we'll just go with the flow, like, and yeah, we will see you then.
Fantastic race! Congratulations on the win. That's 25 points.